Hello, my name is Greg Chilcote. We're in beautiful Southern California here on the corner of Sunset and Vine, and we're here to discuss a subject that's dear to my heart, which is the sales process. Specifically, we're going to talk about the gates to a sale. There are 10 gates to a sale as I see it, but I am going to discuss with you today the first 4 gates, which, to my way of thinking, are probably the most important gates of all. A lot of people feel that the selling process is very mysterious and that salespeople, whether men or women, are born, not made. But I don't subscribe to that. I've seen too many people with mediocre native ability succeed beyond their wildest dreams by applying just a few simple processes. And the processes I want to talk to you about today are the gates to a sale. As I mentioned before, there are 10 gates to a sale, and I refer to them as the gates for the simple fact that, to me, a sale is like a wild stallion running across the plains. And if I want to capture that stallion, if I want to hold that stallion to be my own, I have got to build a corral. And the corral I choose to build is a corral of 10 gates. If I close all 10 of those gates, I've captured my stallion, I've made my sale. But as I said before, we're going to discuss the first 4 today. The 10 gates, though, are this. The first one is the pre-approach. The pre-approach, very important gate, and we'll get into it at greater length. The second gate is the greeting and meeting of the customer, making them feel at home. Third gate would be building rapport, making a friend. Gate number 4, probably the biggest gate of all, is the gate of qualifying. What do people want? What do people need? What can the customer afford? The next gate that we're going to find will be the gate of selecting the proper unit. After we've done our qualifying, the people are going to want to land on the right unit. After we've landed on the right unit, the one that meets their wants, needs, and affords, then we launch into our presentation, which is the next gate. The presentation should always be animated, should be lively and interesting, and frankly, it should be presented in a manner that interests the customer. So you always want to present it with a view to presenting what the customer is interested in and perhaps what your competition doesn't offer. The next gate's the demonstration. That's where you get the customer physically involved in interacting with the product. After that, the next gate, vital gate, is getting the commitment to buy now. Get the commitment to buy from the customer now, today, not sometime in the future, but now. After that, we'll begin negotiating the deal. After we've negotiated the deal, we'll close the deal, and that'll wrap up the entire process. But as I said, today we're going to talk about the first 4 gates. Gate number 1, the pre-approach. Pre-approach is the only gate of the gates that deals with you and not with the customer. In all the other gates, the needs of the customer and the psychology of buying of the customer are important, but not in gate 1. In gate 1, it's your psychology I'm concerned about. You have got to be of the right frame of mind, without any negative thoughts, without any thoughts of what happened yesterday, this morning, the drive to work, the argument you got with your wife. You cannot have any self-doubt. You cannot be hoping that you'll make a sale. You've got to believe that you're going to make a sale. You've got to know you're going to make a sale. In fact, it goes beyond belief. You've got to have faith. Faith has been described as the assured expectation of things hoped for, yet not yet seen. Many average salespeople will go through their entire career, every day showing up to work, hoping they make a sale. And sometimes they will. As the saying goes, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. But the salesman that truly believes and has faith that he or she will make a sale is the one that's successful. And in fact, if a day happens to come along and they don't make a sale, they're shocked. They're stunned that they didn't make a sale. This is the exact opposite of the average salesperson. So it's an absolute faith in yourself. It's confidence. You get confidence through knowledge. So every day you need to work on yourself. And we can discuss techniques on how to do that. And there are a lot of methods for building your confidence through training, through visualization, through affirmations. But once you get it in your heart and you know that you know how to sell, you know your product, and you firmly believe that everyone wants to buy from you, then the rest is pretty easy. So that's gate number 1. And as I said, down the road we can discuss that at greater length. But in the meantime, let's move on to gate number 2. Gate number 2 involves the customer. Gate number 2 involves the comfort level of the customer. It's important that you keep in mind that when customers come on your lot, they are afraid. They don't know that you are a beginner or a nice person or a saint or a sinner. They know nothing. All they know is what they've heard and what their experience has been. They're certain they're going to be running into a sleazy, smooth-talking, slippery shark who's going to do everything he or she can to get into their wallet, to take advantage of them, and basically to rip them off. But that's not you, because you've practiced, and you are practicing Gate 1, and you know that your main goal there is to take care of your customer. And if you take care of your customer and you have confidence in your product, your customer will take care of you. So the most important thing about the Gate 2 is that you set the customer at ease. You get them relaxed. You break the ice with them, because this is going to lead into the next gate, which is selling yourself in the dealership, building rapport. You're going to make a friend. Gate 3 then is making a friend with a customer. People buy from people they like. They don't buy from people they don't like. In fact, one of the main points that a person will use in making a buying decision is whether or not they like the person they're buying from. So you want to make a friend. Very important. Gate 3 is make a friend. Sell yourself. Sell the value in yourself. Sell the honesty in yourself. Sell the concern you have for them to the customer. And then also sell the dealership. Sell the reputation of the dealership. Sell the professionalism of the dealership. Sell the idea that the dealership will be there to stand behind the customer when they need them most, which is after the sale. That's Gate 3. Gate 4, probably the largest gate of all, is the gate of qualifying. What is the customer qualified to buy? What are their wants? What is it they want? The next, what are their needs? What do they need? I mean, I want a car, but I need a car that seats 8 children, perhaps. So they have a want and they have a need, and these two things are different, and you've got to identify them. And the last thing you need to qualify for is their affords. What can they afford? You will always qualify people based on their wants, their needs, and their affords. For example, you can be the greatest salesperson on this planet. You can be able to sell, ice cream to Eskimos. But if you sell a customer on a product they neither want, nor can afford, nor need, you're going to have a tough time closing them. I remember years ago that I sold a customer a bottle of champagne, let's say. It was actually a large ticket item, and they loved it. I loved it. I'd give the greatest presentation imaginable. The people were excited about buying it. Now, unfortunately, I hadn't done my qualifying properly, and I found out that their affords was about $400 a month. And with all the whittling that my boss could do and my assistant manager, we finally got that payment down to only $850. Problem is, we came up $450 short, and I didn't make a sale. Did I make a friend? Oh, sure, I made a friend. But did I make a sale? No, and that's the most important thing. So gates 1 through 4, be right with yourself. Be right in your mind. Work on these 6 inches, most important. And after you're right in your mind, make your customer feel at ease, make a friend with your customer, and qualify them as to their wants, needs, and affords. Now, we can discuss the rest of these gates later.